Hello and a warm welcome to Well This Week by latestlaws.com. This is a weekly program, so hit the bell icon to get notification for new videos. My name is Sheetal June, Associate Editor, latestlaws.com, and let's begin with Supreme Court this week. The Supreme Court has held that the Reserve Bank of India is obliged to disclose defaulters list, inspection reports, annual statements, etc. related to bank under the Right to Information Act. This week, the Supreme Court dismissed a plea that alleged that the design of the National Emblem atop the new Parliament building violates the State Emblem of India Prohibition Against Improper Use Act 2005. The top court also did not agree with the submission that the lions there appear to be more aggressive and said that the impression depends on the mind of a person. A division bench of the Supreme Court, while quashing a High Court order allowing appointment of the mother of the deceased to a government vacancy on compassionate ground, observed that such appointment cannot be claimed as a matter of right and are mere concessions. The Supreme Court has reiterated that a judgment or decree obtained by fraud is to be treated as a nullity. The division bench, comprising of Justice B.R. Gavai and Justice C.T. Ravi Kumar, observed that no disclosure of the relevant and material documents with a view to obtain an undue advantage would amount to fraud. The Apex Court has observed that when there is positive evidence regarding income of the deceased, notification of Minimum Wages Act cannot be relied on to determine the same in the motor accident claim matter. The court clarified that the notification of Minimum Wages Act can be a guiding factor only in case where there is no clue available to evaluate the monthly income of the deceased, but isn't required if ample evidence is there to ascertain the same. The Supreme Court Constitution Bench is set to examine the issue as to whether an arbitration clause in an unstamped contract requiring registration and stamping shall be a binding or not. Next we have Delhi High Court. The Delhi High Court, in petition against DDA housing scheme for allotment of flats, has reiterated that since a contract between the state and a person aggrieved is non-statutory and purely contractual, no writ or order can be issued under Article 226 to remedy the breach of such a contract. Noting that the issue concerning price of the flat could only be raised with the respective authority, the court also remarked that if high price was concerning the appellant, he ought not have participated in the draw. A single-judge bench in the trademark dispute of Nirma has reiterated that when a person uses another person's well-known trademark, he tries to take advantage of the goodwill and such mark enjoys, which leads to unfair competition and dilution of the said trademark. The single-judge bench of the Delhi High Court in one case has opined that parental consortium is available to all the children in a case of motor accident claim, irrespective of the fact that whether they are dependent on the deceased or not. The Delhi High Court in one matrimonial matter has held that the burden of proving reasonable excuse under Section 9 of the Hindu Marriage Act 1955 would be on the person who has withdrawn from the society or his or her spouse. The court was dealing with an appeal against family court ruling allowing a decree for restitution of conjugal rights in favor of the husband and against the wife. Now let's have an overview of other high courts. The Punjab and Haryana High Court, while dealing with an issue on joint proceedings, held that a proceeding having a juvenile in conflict with law and an adult cannot be done jointly. The bench observed that in terms of Juvenile Justice, Care and Protection of Children Act 2000, order can only be passed by the Juvenile Justice Board and not magistrate. The division bench of the Orissa High Court, while acquitting a murder accused, observed that in case of circumstantial evidence, motive assumes greater importance than in the case of direct evidence. It thus found prosecution failed to prove his guilt beyond reasonable doubt. The Calcutta High Court has ruled that the state cannot claim title of land belonging to its citizens by taking recourse to the doctrine of adverse possession. In the case, the state had taken over the land of the appellant for constructing a major road without any acquisition proceedings or following due process of law. They were not paid any compensation, even though the other people whose land were also taken got their share. The Calcutta High Court has ruled that the state cannot claim title of land belonging to its citizens by taking recourse to the doctrine of adverse possession. In the case, the state has taken over the land of the appellant for constructing a major road without any acquisition proceedings or following due process of law. They were not paid any compensation even though the other people whose land were also taken over in connection with the project had received the same. The High Court of Karnataka has observed that Advocates Act 1961 does not confer any right on the advocates to park their vehicles inside the court premises, as Section 30 of the Act only confers the right to practice. Moving on to miscellaneous news. The Punjab and Haryana High Court has upheld the 20-year jail term of the two former students of Sonipat's OP Jindal Global University in 2015 gang rape and blackmail case of a junior student and has acquitted the third one of the charges. The girl has accused the three final year students who are from Delhi of raping her from the time she has joined the university in August 2013. The FIR was registered on April 11, 2015. The Ministry of Home Affairs has notified the Criminal Procedure Identification Rules 2022 under the Criminal Procedure Identification Act 2022. The Act allows police officer or prison officers to collect certain identifiable information such as fingerprints, biological samples from convicts or those who have been arrested for an offence. The rules specify the manner of taking certain information, person authorized to collect information, manner of collecting, storing, sharing, record and the disposal of such records. The Union Law Minister Kiren Rijiju has written to the Chief Justice of India UU Lalit, who is set to demit the office on November 8th, seeking recommendation for name of his successor. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, the second most senior judge, is expected to be the next CJI. Under investigation in India over alleged financial misappropriations and other charges, Chinese phone major Xiaomi has said that it is disappointed over the freezing of its bank deposits and added that all the transactions were made via RBI approved and mandated banking channels and that there is nothing illegal to it. In the last, we have international news. Taking a U-turn, Tesla CEO Elon Musk has revived the Twitter buyout deal at original price value of $54.2 per share. Both parties are trying to reach an agreement to end their months-long tussle and an agreement ending the litigation is positively on the table. Pakistan's cabinet has decided to launch legal action against former Prime Minister Imran Khan and his party's top leaders over audio leak in which he could allegedly be heard discussing the controversial US cipher and how to exploit it portray his ouster as a conspiracy. US President Joe Biden, in direction to overhaul drug policy, has pardoned thousands of people with federal offense for simple marijuana possession and has initiated a review on how the drug is classified under the federal law. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. This is a weekly program, and to get more information, please check the description box, and for weekly updates, like and subscribe to our channel.